magtulungan kahit anong pandemya, bagyo, anong pagsubok, tayo po ay makakabangon. At ang pagiging bayani natin ng mga Pilipino, hindi lamang tayo ay mag-voice ng ating buhay. Tumulong po tayo makabangon ng ating ekonomiya para tayo po ay consider na rin na mga bayani. Tayo rin po ay nananawagan sa ating mga kababayan at suportahan natin itong mga kababayan natin, itong mga MSCP natin na nandito. Maraming salamat po at isang magandang umaga po muli sa lahat.
All right, welcome to day 2 of the virtual National Trade Fair by the Bureau of Domestic Trade Promotions of the Department of Trade and Industry. My name is Grace Gayoso and I'll be your host for today. Amazing yesterday, we're happy to note that we have 500 participants. Kaya continue to invite your friends, your family, your relatives to attend this event para marami pang sumuporta sa ating mga local entrepreneurs and syempre for them to learn as well. And also, I invite you to visit the virtual booths where you can see the amazing products that are proudly Philippine-made. Okay, so yesterday, the webinar's focus was on the entrepreneur himself, having the right skill set and mindset to achieve business success and also armed with digital skills and influencer strategies. Today naman, the speakers will center on product development and also on free government support system, how to access this. Also, they will be talking about food processing, packaging, branding, and mentoring to assist current and aspiring entrepreneurs. But wait, stick with us because later we will be picking lucky winners to receive a special gift box from our generous exhibitors who are Coco Plus Aquarium Development Corporation, Hineleban Foundation Incorporated, and Everything Green PH. Pipiliin natin ang winner through our spin a wheel. Meron tayong e-roleta that will be later, all right? So let's start. Okay. When engaging in a business, you have to know the limits, the rules, the trends, and also the local and international compliances required. So all of these, it's best to learn them from experts. So to discuss, our first speaker to discuss about reinventing food for humanity, please welcome the Vice President for Sustainable Business and Communication of Unilever Philippines and also the concurrent Vice President Communication of Unilever SEAA, Mr. Ed Sunico.
Hi, thank you, Grace. I hope you can all hear me. So good morning, lalo na sa ating mga MSMEs, na nasa call ngayon. Let me start by, thanking the DTI, especially in Bureau of Domestic Trade Promotion, for, for inviting us, and also extending yung congratulations namin to a very successful day one. Actually, I was watching yung Facebook nyo yesterday. Really very engaging and very informative. Congratulations. Again, thank you for extending the invitation to Unilever Philippines. And it is really my privilege to share with you the mga developments in the food industry, food systems transformation, and our own plant-based revolution. Now, as one of the largest food companies in the world, we believe that we can actually help redesign the global food system. Our role is basically twofold, diversifying yung food consumption through our brands, and second, diversifying yung food production by championing sustainable agriculture. Now, of course, this calls for a very big systemic change in the way we cook, in the way we eat, as consumers, and also in the way we produce, the way we innovate as manufacturers. Also in the way we engage with our consumers, our partners, yung mga stakeholders natin, and all the different aspects of sustainable agriculture. Now, one of the three big goals of the USLP, o yung tinatawag namin Unilever Sustainable Living Plan, is to improve the health and well-being of more than 1 billion people. No? Now, part of that, or a big part of that, is to continually work to improve the taste and nutritional quality of our products. Now, for the last decade, we have really been working very hard, no, to make sure that we make a positive change right across the food system, no, from the way the food is grown to the way it is consumed. Sabi nga nila, from farm to fork. Yeah. So next slide, please. Yeah. So yung food system natin actually is faced with a number of challenges, no, related to innovation, to demand, supply, and also regulation. Now, maraming interconnected issues in the food system. Number one, we produce and eat foods that are too resource intensive. Actually, food is responsible for 30% of greenhouse gas emissions. No? Tapos out of that 30, 25% of that actually comes from livestock or yung meat production. And only 5% comes from agriculture na plant-based. Now, a lot of the food that actually we eat just take too much water in the way we produce them. It needs a lot of land space, and they emit a high amount of greenhouse gas emissions. Now, second, yung basically one of our biggest concerns, actually, we grow and eat the same type of food over and over again, paulit-ulit, no? Alam natin na 75% ng ating entire food system is made only of 12 plants and 5 animals. I think there are more than 200,000 types of edible plant species, no? I think 150 or around 200 of them we actually eat. Pero out of that, only 12 plants actually comprise the majority of that consumption. So bottom line is that we're not getting the benefits, no, from food diversity o pagkain ng iba't ibang klaseng type ng pagkain. And this actually would address malnutrition, no, if we actually diversify our food consumption, to more types of food. And also third issue is that the way we grow and produce our food are often harmful, no, to the environment. And lastly, from a business perspective, yung agricultural sector natin, of course, still face the challenge of food security. Ensuring that yung mga smallholder farmers natin, yung kanilang yield and income are maximized and secure will always be a concern, no, of the food sector. Yep. Next slide. Now, agriculture, centering now to Unilever, yung agri provides more than 2/3 of the raw materials that Unilever uses for its branded products. We are among the world's largest users of agricultural raw materials and also a major buyer of agricultural goods. Now, the issues I mentioned a while ago, they are very critical for us in both in a commercial as well as a humanitarian sense, no? Because we depend on the supply of sustainably sourced nutritious ingredients, many of which comes from our farms and our forests. Now, we believe that the global food system needs to change to better serve our farmers, our communities, and also the planet, and also the people who actually buy our brands. Now, we have set for ourselves a very ambitious goal to reinvent food for humanity by helping 100 million Filipinos or 2 billion people eat in a way that's really better for them and also better for the land, no, or better for the planet. Next slide, please. Now, to do that, no, we develop the USAC, or what we call the Unilever Sustainable Agriculture Code. This is developed for our farmers and our suppliers. It's a set of rigorous standards which would push for improvements across the entire value supply chain. Now, in this code, actually define natin yung sustainable sourcing using 11 social, economic, and environmental indicators. So ano yung mga yan, no? So soil health, soil erosion or soil loss, yung nutrients that comes from the land and the processing, pest management, biodiversity, farm economics, energy, of course, nandiyan ang water, pati yung epekto nito sa human capital, no, to our smallholder farmers, to the communities, to the local economy, and to the animal welfare. So very comprehensive set of environmental, economic, social indicators to make sure that we, move the needle, no, in sustainable sourcing. Now we hope that through sustainable agriculture, we can make a big difference to many of the challenges, no, that I mentioned a while ago, including hunger, including food insecurity, poverty, and even the bigger issue of climate change. But transforming an entire sector is not easy. It's not something that any single business can do alone. Kailangan talagang pagtulungan. Yung systemic changes that are needed will only come from the concerted effort of everyone. Everyone from the range of partners that we work with and through a committed advocacy across the industry. Now, Unilever's approach to lead through our business strategy and policies on sustainable sourcing, that's the way we will approach it, while also advocating for change that will move the industry forward in transforming our food system. Next slide. So aligned to this is this announcement that we made on Future Foods, which has basically two key objectives. Number one, we want to help people transition towards healthier diets, and second, we want to reduce yung environmental impact of the food supply chain. No? Our new targets include setting a target of a billion euro for plant-based meat and dairy alternatives for the next 5 to 7 years. And then gusto namin kalahatiin yung food waste resulting from our global operations from factory to shelf by 2025. And last, we want to double the number of products that deliver positive nutrition globally by 2025. No? So there's a set of really ambitious targets that we hope will really accelerate our food transformation. Now, next slide. So while we try to drive this agenda globally, in our country, the root of the problem for us is very clear. No? Meron talagang gap kasi amongst our consumers in awareness and accessibility for a better diet. Now, we've discovered that yung ating mga nanay and families know kailangan nila namang kumain ng mabuti. No? They know that they have to eat better. Pero ang problema, they don't necessarily know kung paano gawin, kung how they can cook and how they can eat better. So foremost kasi at the top of mind ng ating mga magulang, ating mga parents is the need to, of course, bring food to the table. Yan naman yung number one concern nila, na may makain ng mga bata na magugustuhan nila. Pero sometimes they compromise the health associated with this. Yung health, kung wala naman silang nakikitang immediate risk, medyo it takes a backseat. Importante makakain. No? So there's a need for us to build consumer awareness that ang nutritious food is seen as also as desirable, masarap, no? At saka abot kaya ng ating mga consumers para makita nila na ultimately yung perang nilalagay nila sa pagkain na hindi masustansya, mura, eventually it will translate to a higher cost for them, no? Either in terms of higher medical costs, nagkakasakit sila, nagkakasakit ang pamilya nila, and also the environmental and economic impact that comes with eating this type of food. No? Now sa Unilever, we believe na we need to build a portfolio of products that provide a great taste, masarap at masustansya. And this is how we can tackle the issue and the burden of hunger and malnutrition. It's by making nutritious delicious. So please watch this video on nutritious is delicious.
Today, 1 in 3 Filipino children is malnourished. Almost all are from poor families who lack education on how to prepare an affordable, nutritious meal. This is an alarming truth. The future of our children is at stake. It's time to make nutritious and delicious meals for all by ensuring that our products are at their most nutritious, by sourcing sustainably from the freshest produce, and by teaching moms to make flavorful dishes for all occasions. Our goal is to make nutritious delicious, because that would mean fulfilled moms everywhere. That would mean happy families in every home, and that would mean a brighter future for our children. We are in 1 out of 2 Filipino households, and we are mom's best cooking partner. Every dish is more nutritious and delicious than ever before. We believe that nutritious can be delicious for all, because with one meal at a time, good food can build a brighter future for our nation.
Yeah, so nakita niyo yung Knorr, no? That's actually our largest food brand. And it has a major role to play in achieving yung aming sustainability goals and also shaping the Filipino food culture, no? We have a long-standing program of addressing the nutrition gap in the Philippines, no? Alam natin na 1 out of 3 kids are malnourished or undernourished. So we really have a responsibility and a role to play. And I always say na, to our food colleagues in the company na you can never really claim to be a successful food business if there's still 1 out of 3 of our Filipino kids that are still going hungry, on a daily basis. So we have a program, the Knorr Lutong Nanay program. It's actually 19 years already going, which aims to educate the families on nutritious eating and nutritious cooking through a 21-day Nutri program. Now we have taken this as a step, a step further last year by creating a partnership with GMA7 for the first ever nutrition-themed edutainment program, no, for kids. Tawag namin Makulay ang Buhay Show. Now, for Makulay, actually, the reason why we emphasize on Makulay kasi they always say na if pag makulay yung kinakain mo, this is actually an indication that you're eating nutritious. Kasi pag may green dyan, may yellow, iba-ibang kulay, normally that's a sign that you are eating more plant-based or more type of food. So therefore, building on food diversification. Now, at the same time, we also encourage diverse eating globally through our partnership with the World Wildlife Fund. No? We launched the Future 50 Foods report, which highlights locally relevant crops and produce that can help drive nutritious eating, no, while helping the land, no, helping the planet. Now, by pushing more diverse diets, we also hope to drive also yung tawag natin crop rotation. Kasi the more you rotate the different types of crops in the agricultural practice, it means that the land is healthier. Now, to support this effort, we also have a strong partnership with local farms to drive sustainable agriculture practices in our goods. No? A good example of that is our landmark farms for sampalok. Kasi sampalok is a key ingredient for Nor Sinigang, which we try to work closely with farmers all over the Philippines so that we can integrate the agricultural code or the Unilever Sustainable Agri Code in their operations. Now, happy to note that today we have touched more than 800 smallholder farmers, engaging with us in sustainable farming. Yeah, so we share with our suppliers and growers this joint vision on sustainability and help minimize the negative impact on the environment and also protect biodiversity and also to contribute to better rural livelihoods. Now, yeah, so that's how we drive change in our food system. That's how we want to reshape the Filipino food culture to one that is more delicious, more nutritious, and also more sustainable. Yeah, so please watch this short film. Yeah, so indeed there are many things to fix in our food system, but we cannot do this as individuals. We need to have a really collective effort around this and a systemic change working together. But aside from that, I invite everyone to start basically rethinking, how they consume. No, I invite everyone to change the food system one dish at a time, exploring better ways to cook, and to eat every day. Yeah, so again, salamat DTI, for the opportunity to share our work in Unilever, and I'll stay on for a few more minutes to share more in the Q&A. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ed Sunico, for that very informative topic. So ngayon, I'd like to invite everyone, if you have questions, we have 15 minutes para kay Sir Ed. Ako meron akong question, Sir Ed. Ayan. So,
Yep, go ahead.
how about would you be able to give additional information regarding specific support that you give to the suppliers o yung ating mga farmers to be able to practice itong sustainable farming? Ano yung ginagawa ni Unilever for that? May mga trainings ba or other kind of support? What specific support?
Yeah, so ang center talaga nun is our yung USAC, yung agricultural code. So I think it's important kasi to give them access to training on sustainable agriculture. So it's quite extensive. As you've seen, we've cut across different agricultural practices. So it's really the training that first and foremost, and then of course access to market. Through our aggregators, we hope that we can work with smallholder farmers so that they'll become part of our entire value chain. So those two are the main support that we give to our smallholder farmers.
All right. So I'll just summarize. It's training and also access to market. Tama po, sir?
Yeah, kasi
Yes.
alam mo yung mga smallholder farmers natin, of course, they will always have a problem of yield and income. So I think as an industry and Unilever, we try to enable them by giving them access to the training and support, no, to basically improve yung kanilang agricultural practices. And we do that nga through our USAC, no, yung Stable Agri-Code. Yeah, and then for some industry players, they can also link yung kanilang supply chain by providing the smallholder farmers direct access nga to their raw material requirement.
All right. Yeah. There's another one. There's another question. There is a notion that eating healthy alternative foods is more expensive, like quinoa for regular rice. Your comments, please, on that.
Sabi ko nga, eventually, you have to invest again, no, in your health. No, we're trying to make sure that people actually rethink that nutritious food is expensive. Actually, it's not. No, in our program, yung Lutong Nanay program, we actually teach our moms to cook nutritious food na very affordable. Actually, some of them even below 50 pesos, no, that can actually feed a family of 5. So nutritious food doesn't need to be expensive. You just need to know, how to cook nutritious food in an effective way, and that's the whole objective of the 21-day program that we have. Basically, teaching our moms, no, ano ba ang kailangan mo lutuin na mura, masarap, no, at nutritious for your family.
So aside from the current partnership you have with GMA, yung may program, no, for moms on cooking nutritious food, meron pa po bang, does this expand more than the media? I mean, do you have, you go to the locality, or yung comments nyo that, sir?
Yeah, so our Lutong Nanay program is actually a mix of on the ground. Actually, before the pandemic, you will always see us in the communities, no? Kasi yun naman yung importante, you have to be directly engaging with the moms and the families in the community. We definitely are in the communities where we operate. We teach them that Lutong Nanay program, actually daily pinupuntahan natin sila, sinasabi natin ito ang dapat yung lutuin for the next 21 days. Now, unfortunately, because of COVID now, we need to pivot our operations, and we try to do it more online. And we're good that we have GMA7 as a partner, para at least even if we cannot do it face to face, we still have a way, of communicating and engaging with our consumers through TV and even the online channel.
Right. So this is interesting, no? Sabi nga, no, it should not be expensive. No, just use the ingredients or yung mga nakikita available around you to make it affordable. Ayan. So another question from Lorenza Kawilan. Are you going to produce plant-based meat alternatives and seasonings?
So yung plant-based revolution ng Unilever, the plan for that is to have more products na plant-based as well. There are already developments in other parts of other markets in the Unilever world, tries to develop this kind of plant-based products. Hopefully it gets, of course, we're considering that as well for the local market, no? Soon. I hope we get to have also very vegan type of plant-based products going to the Philippine market.
Yun, kasi I'm
That is the
sure,
intent.
no? Oh, kasi those things, yung mga vegan, is expensive kasi most of them are produced outside. So I think it would be good if it will be available soon in the Philippines. Ayan. And another one, how do you think, or yung siguro advice or your thoughts on this, on food business companies, how can food business companies help in providing affordable, healthy food? Kasi sabi nga kanina, no, madalas expensive. So, yung into the food business, what can they do kaya to be able to provide affordable food? Kasi nga, ang barrier kanina, it's accessibility and affordability. Any thoughts on this, sir?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, you need to fix your end-to-end value chain, no? Kasi even if you consider, let's say, food waste, sabi nga nila, 1/3 actually of the food that's being produced actually goes to waste, no? From the time that you produce, your food brands or food products to the time that it gets consumed. So I guess you really have to review your end-to-end supply chain and value chain, and really find where you can actually maximize the value and also maximize the savings. And only then, because any improvement that you do in this entire chain actually boils down to pricing, and therefore affordable price is the end benefit that that we aim to have, no, to for our consumers.
All right, thank you, sir. Another question. Do you have programs for young people in terms of raising awareness about reinventing food for humanity?
Yep. So now nakafocus kami sa smallholder farmers in terms of our stable agri code. I think the focus now is really on the moms, no? Young moms included as well. Kasi nga we saw that the issue naman talaga is sometimes even if they want to give their families nutritious food, they lack the awareness, no, and they lack the information on how to do it. So our program is really an educational program that allows mom to understand how to cook nutritious food for their families at an affordable price.
All right. Oh, no, I remember before, no, I visited a community. Sabi nung mga nanay doon, wala na daw sila. Ayaw na nilang magluto kasi pare-pareho lang yung mga gulay sa paligid nila. So yun nga, nabanggit nung kapitan, sabi nung kapitan, baka po ma'am, ang kailangan pong ituro ay paano magluto ng iba't ibang putahe gamit ang mga gulay. So yun talaga pala ang kailangan. Ayan. And another question, sir.
Kasi nga, kung titignan mo, rice, corn, and wheat, medyo rice, corn, and wheat, yung ginagamit natin sa tinapay, yan na yan eh. Yan na yung majority of the food crops that we actually use, no? And extend mo na dyan siguro, sabi ko nga, up to 12. Now, what we're trying to do is that, through our brands, because Knorr is basically enhances the flavor of food. Dapat, kahit na kumakain ka ng gulay, lalo na yung mga bata, matikman nila na masarap pala ang gulay, no? Dati sa mga bata, inisip parate pag gulay ayaw nila. Pero if we can actually enhance the flavor of food, of vegetables, baka they can reconsider, no, and start eating more nutritious plant-based diet.
Oh, it's really challenging, no, to make children eat vegetables kasi nga kailangan malasa. Another question here. Can you also reach out daw to school canteens, of course, when children go back to school, to serve healthy food for children?
Yes, it's a good suggestion. Of course, we will consider. We try to extend this program to as many channels as we can. Of course, definitely, if we can go to the school canteens, that would be ideal. But considering also that there are a lot of constraints also getting into school canteens, no? Mas mahirap actually makapasok sa mga school canteens. Maraming mga restrictions, no? But we hope through our program, we don't even have to go to them directly. If they can, through the power of our communication, if we can reach to them, at least with the principles of nutritious cooking, through our advertising in our Nutri program, hopefully they also on their own get to adjust and basically deliver nutritious food to the students.
All right. This one from Sir Cirilo. Does Unilever have books that we can read on this?
Books may be difficult kasi lahat naman online na. But definitely if you go to our website, specific on the food categories, you'll see a lot of links there that can actually provide you with the essence of our nutrition program. And if there are sa mga SMEs na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, if you wish to have a copy of yung aming 21-day Nutri program, no? Siguro I'll probably send my email address so that we can send a copy to you, even a digital copy. I hope we can send to our SMEs nakikinig today.
All right, sir. So again, which website? Can you say it again? The website, or is there a specific website where they can access those resources? Is it?
I think through our my suggestion is you go to the Unilever Philippines Facebook page,
All right.
and through there we can actually interact. We can interact with our consumers and even our SMMEs, no, to engage with them. Through the Facebook, we can actually send you the links, no? Para
Alright,
sure.
so
Kasi
yes,
mahirap yung naghahanap ka online, no? So just make sure that we send you to the right place.
All right, so for everyone here right now, you check out Unilever Philippines Facebook, and then there you can communicate with them and also access those resources about the topic right now, about food and nutrition. Ayan. From Andy, TY, thank you daw po sa project ninyo. We need to be empowered or remind people to go back to basics. Yan. Lutong nanay. Yan. Salamat daw po. Ayan. And then from another one, how can you assure your customers or partners that Unilever provides the best and healthiest products?
Sorry, I lost you.
Oh, right, again.
Connection. Say it again, sorry.
How can you assure your customers or partners that Unilever provides the best and healthiest products?
Yeah, so we are very strict, no? That's something that we, are looking at it very closely. We have what we call the highest nutritional standards, no? It's actually a set of standards that we put up, which is actually more strict than the globally accepted standards. No? So we try to be more strict on ourselves. So we can be assured, and every Unilever product passes its highest nutritional score, or highest nutritional standards. And even if you look at the label, we're also very strict to make sure that that our label communicates the nutritional standards to our consumers. Yeah, so makaasa po kayo that every product of Unilever that goes out on the shelves to your families passes the most strict nutritional standards available.
Oh, I think that's an important practice, for everyone looking at the nutrition facts na nakalagay doon sa mga products to know what you are eating. No? And okay, I think there's another one here.
And this is something. The standards are actually reviewed, no, on a regular basis, no. We have the WHO dietary guidelines, no, for those who are more familiar with it. Yung guidelines, they have guidelines on calories, on sugar, on sodium, even saturated fat. Now that's the starting point lang yun eh. Our nutritional standards actually exceeds those global standards. And this is something that we review on a regular basis. We review it together with the national government, with other authorities, with FNRI. And if needed, the standards are updated, no, to ensure that they are future-proof. Kasi hindi pwedeng stagnant yan eh. Dapat nagpo-progress yan, no, as the food industry and the food standards progresses as well.
All right. So dapat talaga may public-private yan, partnership all the time. Another question from Annie. Is there an existing program by Unilever to reduce food wastage as well?
We are partnering with a big NGO whose focus is really to address food waste, no? Yung Rise Against Hunger. And the intent really is to make sure that the food that may expire or probably near expiry, make sure na hindi umabot sa ganung point, no? Make sure it gets consumed, no? And therefore we donate that, no? Hindi pwedeng matapon. We donate that to communities in need, no? And we're very lucky that we have a very good partner, which is Rise Against Hunger, helping against food waste. And also we have to make sure also that the quality of our brands, no? We are very strict that we keep inventories at a very optimal level in the retailers. Hindi pwedeng napakadami mong stocks kasi diyan nagsisimula yung spoilage, no? Dapat eksakto lang, no? Na you have enough inventory in the retailers to basically serve the consumers on a week on week basis. So that will ensure that that the food is fresh, and to make sure that there's no food that actually goes to waste.
Alright. I-challenge talaga. I think even at homes, minsan there's so many food na nabibili mo na sobra, hindi mo na assess ng tama, tapos nakita mo yung gulay nalanta na, tapon na. Even yung mga canned goods na expire na. Yes, sir.
Totoo yan. We're also working on through our industry partners as well, and the different food chambers to make sure na may standardized labeling, no? Kasi sometimes nakakalito yung food expiry date, no? Sometimes nakalagay best before, sometimes nakalagay expires by. Maraming consumers na yung best before akala nila expiration date. Pag nakita nilang may date doon, expired na to, tapo na. When in fact, it's best before, you can actually still consume it. So, nakipagtulungan kami to make sure that this sort of standard labeling is very clear, no, to our consumers, again, to avoid food waste.
Ito, sir, I mean, personal experience, i-advocate ko na rin. Kasi minsan, even the date, year, and month, hindi namin alam, ano ba yung pwedeng gawin yung year, yung month na lang is in words. Kasi sometimes, hindi mo alam, ano ba to? May 6 o June 5? Kasi,
Minsan baliktad.
Oo, so...
Yeah, correct. That's right.
So, it gets confusing. Kakainin ko pa ba to o hindi? Yeah, side comment ko lang yun. Kasi challenge din yun, eh. No? And then, yun nga, it contributes also to food wastage.
Totoo yan.
Ayan,
minsan hindi mo pa mahanap
yes,
kung nasan. Hindi mo makita kung nasan na yung date, di ba? So, we need ang daming improvements actually on this. Very small act, that the industry can take to make it clear, actually will impact the whole food industry in terms of reducing food waste. Sabi nga natin, 1 out of 3 na pinoproduce sa pagkain natatapon, no? So we try to avoid that.
Alright. Okay, very informative, but unfortunately, hanggang dito na lang ang ating time. Thank you for all your questions, no? For all your questions to Mr. Ed Sunico. And thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us about all these things regarding food, nutrition, the environment, sustainability, and sana may natutunan. I'm sure meron natutunan kasi ako meron on today's topic. Alright, thank you, sir. But before you leave, ayan, no, ano muna tayo, photo op. Ayan, picture to capture the moment right now. Okay, Mr. Cameraman, ready na po? Ready na po kami? Diyan na ba?
All right. Okay. So
right.
For the photo op. All right. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right.
All right. Okay. Once again, thank you very much, Sir Ed Sunico, and mabuhay po kayo. Salamat po.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Bye.
Yes. Okay. So again, no, I hope you learned something about this topic, and reminder once again, a lucky winner will get a special gift box mamaya sa ating e-raffle. No? And again, I would like to acknowledge our very generous exhibitors, Coco Plus, Aquarian Development Corporation, Unilever Foundation Incorporated, and Everything Green PH for the prizes with a total cost of 2,000 pesos. As long as you are here, no, in our Zoom, you are qualified for the e-raffle. Mamaya yan, malalaman natin sino ang makakatanggap ng ating napakagandang basket Unfortunately, hindi ako kasama. Gusto ko ding manalo. Ayan, no? So we'll have a break right now, and we'll be back at 11:30 p.m. to know more from our speakers, the color trends, ayan, for 2021. Once again, I'm Grace Gayoso as your host today. See you later.
Masenso lahat ng Pilipino dahil ang ating pong mga programa ay baliwala kung hindi aasenso ang lahat ng ating mga kababayan.